obviously got the job done yesterday, and I've got a good gate pick for today. So no, I'm really happy, and I'm looking forward to it.
Good luck, Corin. Thank you. Good luck to all the guys here. It's time for MX2 Race 1.
Chamberlain will not start this weekend. Michaeli Chamberlain will not start this weekend. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, 133 points back, so it's really down to Jonas and seewer now. Patrell is 4th, Covington is 5th. Albin Osler moved up a couple of places last time out with his results in the USA, but it's very, very tight. We'll talk more about the standings in a moment. Here's the highlights, though, from MX2 Race 2's qualifying race yesterday. With his results in the USA. Dropped and very, very board here with one of the HSF boys, and it was number 10, I think, of Valandrin, or it might have been Boges, actually, or Pooches, because Pooches made a great start. Around the outside here on the TM was Anton Goal. But Thomas Covington easily into the lead as he found his way past Julian Lieber in the early stages of the race. Lieber went to the inside, Covington cut back, his teammate was behind him. And then, towards the end of the lap, Thomas Covington did find a way through on the number 33 on the LRT KTM. Jonas, though, wasn't so lucky. He fell. Just ahead of him there was Morgan Liciardo. So the Red Bull KTM and the Monster Energy Kawasaki had it all to do from the back of the field. Covington, though, as he came past pit lane, found his way past the KTM on his Husqvarna to take over the lead. That was on lap 4, actually. And then Thomas Kjær-Olsen in 3rd was also looking for a way through, but he would have to wait another few laps to be able to pass the to pass the Belgian. David Pooches was having a good ride on his HSF KTM. He started in 4th. Valandrin was in 5th. Seewer was in 6th, and from out of nowhere, from a poor start, Conrad Muse found his way past the championship second place rider at the moment, Jeremy Seewer, and went after Pooches. His job was made a little bit easier, though, when Pooches fell, but Jonas was having a nightmare. Too many mistakes for the championship leader. Maybe a sign of nerves. Maybe a sign of things to come today. Listen to the panic rev. In a moment, we'll see the 46 of Pooches go down in this very corner as Seewer battled his way through just to get himself a good gate pick. He was behind the 2 Huskies at that point in the race. Covington making a slight mistake. That line choice there caught out Lieber, though. That was Pooches and Muse going around the outside. That got them up into 4th and 5th. And Pooches did fall in the left-hander at the end of the straight here in a moment. That was Thomas Kjær-Olsen finding his way past Lieber to go into 2nd. Then you hear the panic rev there from Pooches just going down, tipping it over in that left-hander. He eventually picked himself up ahead of Prado, but Prado couldn't find his way past. He came home in 7th. It was a 5th qualifying race win for Thomas Covington. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, Conrad Muse, a Rockstar Energy Husqvarna 1, 2, 3. Here's how the riders go to the line then for MX2 Race 1 here at round 18 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of the Netherlands at Assen. Thomas Covington, Thomas Kjær-Olsen, Conrad Muse at Rockstar Energy 1, 2, 3. That's how they finished in the qualifying race yesterday. Just one Suzuki in amongst the Austrian outfit there. That was Jeremy Seewer for Team Suzuki World MX2 in 4th. And then it was the HSF Logistic KTMs of Calvin Verlander and David Puches, the Red Bull KTM of Jorge Prado, Brian Bogers and Julian Lieber. He got docked 5 places in the end, actually, after finishing 4th. So he was credited with 9th for failing a noise test at the end of the qualifying race. Ben Watson, Hitachi Contract Furniture Group KTM. He was with us on MXGP TV yesterday on our studio show. So too was Romain Fevre and Kevin Strybos. So if you want to check that out on demand, then feel free to do so. And if you are watching on MXGP TV for the first time, don't forget we have our end-of-season discount, 70% now off. And that includes everything that we've had so far this year in 2017, including the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations at the end of this month, and our 26-minute Behind the Gate highlights package as well. Just saw Thomas Covington and Jeremy Seewer. Seewer really has nothing to lose, but this guy here, Paul Jonas, on the Red Bull KTM, he is 40 points clear of Jeremy Seewer. If Jonas, let's say if Jonas was to go 1-1 today and pick up 50 points, and Jeremy Seewer finished 3rd twice, Jonas is champion. But we saw from yesterday how difficult Paul Jonas was making his riding in the qualifying race, and he'll be hoping A, for a good start, and B, just to get enough points to hopefully extend, at the very least, over Jeremy Seewer with just 1 round to go. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, gets himself into position. We're almost ready here to go. MX2 race 1, 15-second board. About to go up. There's Conrad Muse. He looks like he's gone in gate 1. Alongside him will be Hunter Lawrence, number 96 for Suzuki World MX2. He didn't have the best qualifying race yesterday, but he's looking forward to it. He came home in 11th. Right, here we go. The 15-second board is up. It is about to turn to 5. Round 18 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. The MXGP of the Netherlands here at Assen is about to go now. Charging down into turn 1. Who would it be that grabs the foxhole shot? Prado from the outside. Swings across everybody, or is it Jonas? It might have been Jonas, you know, with a cute line from out of nowhere. Yeah, Jonas with a foxhole shot, and he leads going into turn 3. He's got Jago Kietz just there behind him in 4th place now, because he quickly loses positions to Jorge Prado, 61. Kietz coming out in 3rd though, Covington in 4th. As the 2 Red Bull KTMs charge down through the wave. Now, does Jonas need his teammate riding shotgun, or does he need him challenging for him for the race win here? Because certainly Jonas doesn't need to be putting any unnecessary pressure on this opening lap. Covington is 3rd, Kietz is 4th. 5th is the number 19 of Thomas Kjær-Olsen. They've cleared the ruts out of there for now. That is as good as the track has been through that part of the racetrack all weekend. Going to our overhead cam. Jonas, Prado, Covington, Kietz. There's your top 4. Who's next as we go through there? Conrad Muse is in 5th place. Got his teammate alongside him, Thomas Kjær-Olsen in 6th. Then we have the Suzukis of, well, Jeremy Seewer is actually the lead Suzuki as he passes through there. Look, number 91, then Bogers, then Puches, and then Lieber. Verlander not too far away either, just a couple places behind his HSF teammates. As Muse dives down the inside of Jago Kietz. At least he's got a little bit further than he did in Lommel when he debuted in MX2, Jago Kietz. At least he's upright here. Just get this first lap under his belt and he'll be all right. But Prado trying to close in on his teammate here, but Jonas doing a great job. And again, what a difference 24 hours can make, and also what the conditions make here, because Jonas struggled yesterday. in the qualifying race, no doubt about it. But it's Red Bull KTM 1-2 at the moment. Jonas leads Prado. Covington just 3 seconds further back in third. Muse fourth. Geertz fifth. Seewer is sixth. And look at Muse diving down the inside of Covington. Takes away a position from his teammate and gets himself up into third. Conrad Muse was saying in the pre-grid interview that it was all from the heart yesterday, but Covington bites back immediately. The two Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas need to work together here just to close down on the two Red Bull KTMs ahead of them. Otherwise, they'll start tripping each other up, and that will play nicely into the hands of the guys ahead of them. Look, and Prado harassing his teammate here. Oh, he's going in tight as well, and one slip there, he could put them both down. That is not what Jonas needs. But cast your minds back 12 months ago when Prado did exactly the same to Jeffrey Hurlings in the second race on Sunday. Right, Muse third. Prado's power to weight advantage compared to Jonas. Obviously favouring the Spaniard there, but just losing a little bit of time. He favours going around the outside in turn two. Muse and Covington, they're still fighting over third and fourth. Is it Covington or Muse that's got himself into third now? Because a moment ago it was Muse who found his way through. I think Covington is still there though. So Muse 4, Geertz 5, Seewer in 6, Bogus 7. 8 for Thomas Kjær-Olsen, he's gone missing. 9 for Landren, 10 Puches. Lieber is 11. So Zimmer's gone missing. 12 is Hunter Lawrence, 13 Ben Watson, 14 Alan Austin, Jed Beaton of Australia 15, Mika Boyd-Duval 16, Lars van Berkel, Ruben Fernandez, and Morgan Lasciardo. Giving these guys time just to space each other out, but you just know that Prado is looking at the championship leader thinking, well, you've got 40 points. Don't mind if I take 3 off you, do you? That's what he's trying to do. Circuit, very challenging, has been all weekend, but this is the fastest it has been. 1:39 on the opening lap for Paul Jonas, and 1:38.4 for Prado. .143 in warm-up this morning. That was as quick as it had been all weekend until that point. But this circuit, much more as it was 2015 when we first came here. Organisers having to work extremely hard just to get it into this kind of condition. Non-stop work throughout the weekend, through the rain. Lots of racing here this week as well with the 150s, the women and the vets. But the gap was less than a second between Jonas and Prado at the end of that second lap. Definitely got his race face on, hasn't he, Jonas? Where is Brent van Donning? He hasn't made a lap yet, so Van Donning obviously having a problem. Anton Goal and Magna Klingsheim having their issues. Oh, handbags, girls. Over the line they go. Jonas, 1 second clear now with Prado. Prado jumps along, gains about a bike length in that little manoeuvre. Oh, a little bit loose. I wonder how soft it is actually underneath there, and whether it's actually going to bog the riders down if they go too far over to the left, for instance, where it has been a little bit softer. Oh, Jonas just catches his foot pegs there as he rises over that Monster Energy hill. Still got his teammates shadowing him. In some ways, this is perfect for Jonas, but feels he's definitely into a race situation, whether it's his teammate or whether it was Seewer behind him or Covington. Covington just happens to be back there in third as Prado choosing some pretty good lines out here in the early stages of MX2 Race 1. Anton Goal just getting past there after his little exchange with Magna Klingsheim. FNH Racing Kawasaki. So the TM factory rider, he'll limp home. So Van Donnik parked. That's a shame because he was looking good, but he got docked 5 places yesterday for noise failure as well. He looked good in morning warm-up. Right, are the two Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas starting to close in on Prado? Covington, Muse, Jago Geertz having a great ride on the Sarkar Racing KTM. Then Seewer for Suzuki World MX2, then Brian Bogus, then Verlandren's up to 8, so he's found his way past Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Thomas Kjær-Olsen in ninth now. David Puches is 10. Gap between first and third is 4.2 seconds. Fastest rider on track was Jonas that time, a 39.3 compared to a 0.8 and a 0.9. But look how quickly Prado gets back in onto Prost Jonas here. It was 1.4 as they crossed the line just a few turns ago. And you can really see him challenging Jonas now for a shot at the lead. Remember, Prost Jonas needs to be more than 50 points clear after today's activities. Oh, Prado. Talk about towing a very, very tight rope with your teammate. Clearly a bright talent, a great star of the future for Red Bull KTM, but gathering in a little bit hot on his teammate on one or two occasions so far. And Jeffrey Hurlings wasn't so complimentary of his riding last year in a similar situation, and I think Jonas has already had words of a similar nature this year. But watch this here. It was giving your teammate room, and there's almost taking him out. They actually touched their foot peg on front wheel. 21 minutes to go. Prost Jonas continues to lead MX2 Race 1. It's round 18 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. The two Red Bull KTMs of Jonas and Prado are only slightly ahead of Thomas Covington and Conrad Mewse, the two Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas. But the big thing here is that Prado is really pushing his teammate, who is trying to go for a first MX2 world title. And he doesn't need his young little whippersnapper of a Spaniard just getting involved. He's very fast through this part of the racetrack. Prado is going for the race win. And if he's not careful, he is going to be in danger of taking out Jonas. And I'm sure as he goes around the outside, Jonas might just be better just to say, you know what, you can get on with it, and if there is an opportunity later on in the race, I'll try and get my moment. But Prado leads on lap 6. Jonas just starting to spin up. Ah, there you go. There is a mistake from Prado, just pushing the boundaries. Caught a hole on the jump there. Thing almost swapped 90 degrees on him. So where is Jeremy Seewer? Seewer not making any inroads. The gap's 50 points as it stands at the moment. So that'll come down to 47. So making Jonas' job slightly easier with Seewer behind him and not making any ground on Jargo Geerts, Conrad Mewse or Thomas Covington. Covington a race winner here last year, if you remember. Jonas' turn, though, to try and run alongside his teammate Prado. I wonder if he'll pick up on the lines coming out of this next right-hander. He'll see that Prado is fast down here, and he might even switch it up himself. See, Jonas is quick there, but Prado is quick through the next part of the track, but already starting to grab foot pegs as he hits that final jump. Great performance, though, from Prado. Just like he was here 12 months ago on what effectively was his first MX2 GP. Right, here's the pass. There's a lap ago. Prado down the inside of Jonas, taking over the lead on lap 5. And back to where they are now, just a lap later. So Covington third, 5 seconds behind these guys, just over the Tag Heuer jump there. Still, Conrad Mewse pushing him in 4th place. Great ride this from the young Brit, Conrad Mewse. He's 16th in the championship chase at the moment. He did have a 4th in race 1 in Sweden just a couple of rounds ago, and that has been his 2nd best performance. He got a 3rd in Moto number 2 in Latvia. So Conrad Mewse here, 2nd rider in shot on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, looking to at least equal that, but he's got to find his way past his American teammate first. 7 waves here, very difficult to negotiate, because as soon as they come out of that final turn, they're right there upon you. A couple of MXGP guys able to double their way through the midsection of that, but Jonas looks to settle down and goes to the inside, and Prado takes back the lead on lap 8. So a great lap then for the 41 of Paul Jonas. He's only 0.2 quicker than Prado, but Prado definitely riding with some kind of youthful exuberance and some kind of urgency. We know he's a good sand rider, and he's showing it here. But it was Jonas who grabbed the foxhole shot at the start of the race, from all the way on the outside gate. Didn't really have any other alternative. So Jonas, your new leader. Prado second. Covington third. Muse fourth. Geertz fifth. Seewer sixth. Valandren 7. Bogus 8. Olsen 9. Puches 10. Julian Lieber is 11. Hunter Lawrence 12. Alvin Osland 13. Ben Watson 14. Jed Beaton is in 15th place. Mika Boy de Waal 16. Ruben Fernandez, Lars van Berkel, Morgan Laciota and Giuseppe Tropepi. No Brent van Donnick, Andy Klingsheim or Anton Goal. Anton Goal and Klingsheim collided and just looked like they went and parked their bikes back after that. Seewer just struggling to get on terms with the young teenager here on the Sarkar Racing KTM, riding as a wild card this weekend from Belgium, Jago Geertz. You'd think the shackles were off this weekend for Jeremy Seewer in terms of, you know, the championship is almost without his reach. Got absolutely nothing to lose, just get on with it, but not able to do that. Didn't make a great start. He's been sat there just outside of the top 5 the entire moto, and with 15:45 on the clock plus 2 laps, looks like the title could be clinched in the second moto as long as Jonas stays ahead of Jeremy Seewer, because the gap, as we say, 50 points at the moment. 671, 721. So there's already a 10-point gain there as Seewer just gets a little bit wobbly. Oh, and burying the bike too deep in the sand there. Valandren starting to close in and apply the pressure to the Swiss Team Suzuki MX2 rider. Again, losing the front end on the landing. So just under 15 minutes, plus 2 to go. MX2 race 1. And Calvin Valandren is closing in on Jeremy Seewer. He goes around the outside of the Swiss rider, takes a position away as they charge down into turn 3. Seewer reacting immediately, looks to tote the inside line tight and makes his move stick. But Valandren was very close to taking another point or so away from Jeremy Seewer, who's struggling here in MX2 race 1. Regroups well though. Gets over the Monster Energy finish line. He is in 6th place, 14 seconds almost down on Paul Jonas, who is just over a second clear of his teammate, Jorge Prado. Calvin Valandren with a slight hand injury a week ago in the US GP. Saving himself for here, which is effectively his home round, but gets the door shut in his face. Valandren, good drive over the hill on the HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM. He'll go wide. He might make the pass stick here. Will there be a reaction from Seewer in the next turn? See how the lines favour each other, and Seewer just went in too hot there. Valandren could have pulled out of that challenge, but there was no way he was going to do that. Quick pull of the roll-off for the tear-off there then for Valandren as he finally makes that pass stick. It's taken him 3/4 of a lap. More than actually, almost a whole lap. But Seewer knows he cannot afford to lose any more points. He tries to get the wheels on the ground early. Thinks about out-dragging the KTM. He switches to the outside, tries to apply the pressure. Whoa, they almost get into each other there as Valandren got stuck in the turn and then uses the outside just to power back past playing perfectly into the hands of Thiago Geertz there, who's just out there on his own, minding his own business, in fifth on his privateer Sarkar Racing KTM 250. Just goes to show that a lot of this is down to technique as well. Seeing seewer diving into too many berms too heavily. Watch how close this was. Seewer tried to launch it down the inside. Similar result to Prado on Jonas earlier in the race. Thiago Geertz, 9:31, your lead rider in shot. He is in 5th place. A European 250 championship rider normally. But stepping up to MX2, he did make it down the start straight in Lommel on his first attempt in the first race. Did have a good qualifying race though on the Saturday, Thiago Geertz, but it's his first real test in MX2. He's putting up a good fight as well, making a good show of himself. All of a sudden, got a man down at the end of the start straight, so cautionary yellows. Who was that? So Giuseppe Tropepi, I think, just looking at the riders that are dropping down. Yeah, Tropepi down there, crashing at the end of the start straight and just holding his knee. So easily done. Conditions can catch you out in the blink of an eye. Riders saying yesterday how slippery the track was and how grippy at the same time. Come out of the turn, expect to use a berm to propel you forward, and the next thing, back end just lights up, catches an edge. You see actually how wet the rear tyre is. It gives you an indication as to how wet the sand is here. Normally the sand would stick to the rims, but you can see the rear tyres there. But there's Valandren. He's 5th, found his way past Thiago Geertz. So there's an indication as to how much Jeremy Seewer is struggling here. His first MX2 race in the MXGP of the Netherlands, Assen. Sometimes it's easy just to let your head go and wander and think about the championship and, you know, I need to beat this guy, I need to finish ahead of him at least, I need to take points. While Jeremy Seewer's here, I just wonder whether he's just questioning the whole championship situation now, and, you know, he almost threw in the towel or just conceded the fact that Jonas is probably going to be world champion because the gap was getting bigger and bigger, and, you know, that was earlier in the year, but just a few rounds ago. But he's got to try and go back after the teenager, Thiago Geertz. The races are going to be a longer, slightly longer duration for him, but he won't mind about that. Lives not far away from Lommel, but good drive for Seewer out of the second turn. But look at that privateer KTM just hooking up. Oh, Seewer does not need to go down there. That could have been the title chase over. Dives it to the inside, coming out of the final turn. Valandren getting away from them on the number 10 HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM. Packed grandstand here to see this penultimate round here in the Netherlands. Beautiful blue skies, but Seewer looking to charge down. Thiago Geertz knows that he's there. He'll try to cut back, but he also knows that Seewer is possibly in for a title fight as well. So as it stands at the moment, Paul Jonas and Jeremy Seewer are separated by 51 points, but Jeremy Seewer has just found his way past Thiago Geertz. So that brings it back to 50. Still 75 on the table after this race, don't forget. So as every lap passes, as the time ticks down, it's looking good for Paul Jonas to possibly clinch the title here today. And that would be potential double delight for KTM, because Tony Cairoli also has the same opportunity to take a title for the 9th time this weekend in Assen. That race coming up a little later on, of course. Right, 7.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. MX2 race 1 here. The MXGP of the Netherlands in Assen. Paul Jonas has finally broken free from his young teammate there. Jorge Prado hitting the city jump now in the background. That gap between them is around about 2.8, so almost 3 seconds as we start to hit traffic. Thomas Covington 4 seconds further back, but was quicker than Prado last time around. But look at Conrad Mewse breathing down his teammate's neck here. Oh, he's going to get squeezed on the top of the hill there. He had to sit it down, and just think about the whole situation there. But these two fighting over third. So Jago Geerts down in 7th, but does he go off track here? Oh, yes. Wow, big crash for Jago Geerts. And that is a hard landing. Just shows you how close the boundaries are here at this racetrack. If you get it wrong, Tim Geiser found that for himself last year when he launched his bike into the catchment fencing. But Mewse, while we've cut away from that action a moment ago, has now got himself into 3rd. Covington is 4th. Great ride this from Conrad Mewse, former 85 junior world champion and European champion. That corner is a very interesting corner, isn't it? Mewse not so friendly on his teammate. Oh, and also Mewse had a bit of a lucky break there as Covington just got caught on the inside with the back marker. Tell you what, Conrad Mewse is not that far behind Jorge Prado. So Jonas leads 1.9 seconds clear of Prado. Mewse was 4/10 quicker than the KTM rider ahead of him last time around. There, Prado. And there is Mewse. So Mewse still has time to close down this gap. Looking very confident. I know he's training very hard in the UK, physically at the moment. He's a rider without a ride at the moment in terms of no announcements have been made as far as his future next year, but then listen to other people in the paddock, maybe he does have a ride secured, but I'm guessing it's still early days, or at least he's talking to people. Interesting to see where he ends up, but putting in a great showing for his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna squad in the closing stages of the season here with some good performances. And as he said on the pre-grid interview, long overdue. Hasn't been riding like how he did yesterday in the qualifying race, and certainly how he is riding here in this race. But Jonas and Prado are right there in his sights. He could go for the win here, Conrad Mewse. It was 6.2 seconds down on Jonas as he hit the line last time around. Right, there's Jonas, there's Prado, and they're separated by less than a second, and 4.3 now between Jonas and Conrad Mewse. All of a sudden, Jonas thinking maybe about the title race and starting to freeze a little bit here and stiffen up. Prado with nothing to lose. All of a sudden, Mewse goes down! Mewse was just pushing too hard. He was cross-rutted. He had got that gap down, and he hands 3rd back to Thomas Covington. Watch this. In the background, oh, he's already down, so too late on the replay. But Jonas leads the way. Prado closing in, and Covington is just too far behind, and his lap times have just staled a little bit there and stalled. He was a 43, Jonas was a 44, Prado was a 43, Mewse was a 42.5. He was quickest of the first 5 guys last time around. And with Mewse down, he picks himself up in 6th position. So it's now Jonas, Prado, Covington, Verlanderen. Seewer is up to 5th. That helps him out as well, because that is a gift and a half for the Suzuki World MX2 rider. That just about keeps his title hopes alive, mathematically, if nothing else. So Covington now in third for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Julian Lieber for LRT KTM is in 9th place. Hunter Lawrence, Suzuki World MX2, great podium a week ago in the USA at WW Motocross Park. He's in 10th place. Ben Watson for Hitachi Contract Furniture Group, KTM UK, is 11. David Puch is 12. 13 is Alvin Osland for Khmer Yamaha. His Yamaha teammate Brent Van Donning out after a lap or two. Looked like a technical issue. 14th for Jet Beat for Carglass Honda. 15 Ruben Fernandez for FNH Racing. 16 Mika Boy DeWaal. And as we look at Conrad Mewse here, trying to regroup, just ahead of Thomas Kjær Olsen, his teammate, wearing a different colourway this weekend. So the 18 shot range. Conrad Mewse just needs to keep his focus now. Very easy when you go down like that, just to blow off a little bit of steam and lose a little bit of energy. Just behind them is Brian Bogers. So Mewse, had he not fallen, would have just had that impetus to keep pushing on to the KTMs ahead of him, whilst in third place. But Bogers, a danger man here. Thomas Kjær Olsen here, and a nervous look over the shoulder there from Mewse. A telltale sign that he's about spent here. Just lost the concentration, struggling to regroup and rejoin the fight. He's trying, though. He's trying to keep it in there. Wade Yellow's in this next left-hander. There's Jonas, your race leader. 95, Mika Boy DeWaal on the Varmo Racing Honda. That looks like a mechanical issue. Could be 3 laps to go. Could be about 38 seconds on the clock when they hit the line. But behind them, frantic activity. Whole gaggle of riders coming back in the opposite direction here. Seewer is in there. Thomas Covington, his teammates, duking it. Oh, leg over the side of the bike there from Thomas Kjær Olsen. The right leg, he caught it a hole or a rut there, and the right leg just came over the top of the seat. He got it back on quickly, didn't even blink an eye, and he's gone after Conrad Mewse. An easy pass in the end on his teammate. But had he not fallen here a lap ago, Conrad Mewse might still be challenging for the lead. Bogus in the background there, now challenging Conrad Mewse. Mewse now in 7th place. Bogus easily around the outside on his HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM. This shows how the two lines, the insides and the outsides, are working well. They complement each other perfectly. As you go in, you look like you've made the pass, you go around the outside, you get it back in the next turn. Just needs the riders to get out and across earlier, just to close the door. So here's what happened with Conrad Mewse earlier. Just watching the background, hits the jump, wasn't quite straight, it was off balance. Caught a hole there as well and just slid off and down and out of third. 2-lap board being readied here. Paul Jonas about to hit the line, having completed 18 laps. Prado just behind him, still a second, keeping him very, very honest indeed. Thomas Covington should be going in the opposite direction. In third, he's already over the line. 4th will be for Landrin. He's getting pushed now by Jeremy Seewer. Nothing in it between them. For Landrin was a 45.1, Seewer a 43.8. All of a sudden, with 2 laps to go, Seewer has decided to wake up and join the party and join this MX2 Race 1. There's Covington just going through. Right, there is Seewer. Just lost a little bit of ground between the finish line and here, because he was only a second behind. Watch this. Wow. Wow. That... Well, I'm not going to say anything, but Seewer, very lucky not to do a Yago hit. survives the moto for now. Got a lap and a half in which to close back down on Calvin Verlanderen. He's got him there just ahead of him, and Prado has decided to yield. He's letting his teammate get on with it. So Paul Jonas coming out of the final turn on the run down to the Monster Energy finish line. He'll take the one-lap board. Still not all over yet, though. We have seen Prado backwards and forwards, closing in on his teammate. It was a 45.7 for Jonas, a 47.7 for Prado that time around. That gap just over 3 seconds now. Back marker. Covington on the inside there on the white Husqvarna, number 64. So he's in third place. Verlanderen 4, seewer is in 5th. The gap out to 49 points as it stands at the moment. Covington has had an excellent ride here. Definitely going to be contesting the podium. Which position will it be for the American? He'll just want to bring it home in third place. Has he ridden the even smarter race here? Let the two Red Bull KTMs blow themselves out. Has he just been holding back, saving it for the next race? Because it's going to be a tough, brutal race later on today. Paul Jonas, though, will be within a point of the championship. He will have a 49-point gap over Jeremy Seewer going into race 2. He has more race wins than Seewer. So all of a sudden, that prospect of being crowned MX2 World Champion 2017 is very, very real. He can't afford to lose a position here to his teammate. It looks like he's holding back. The checkered flag goes out. Paul Jonas wins moto number 1 here at Assen, at the MXGP of the Netherlands in MX2. And that was a devastating victory and a message to Jeremy Seewer and the rest of the gang as he closes in on a first ever world title. So Jonas wins it from Prado, Covington 3rd, Verlanderen 4th, Seewer is 5th. In short, Jonas just needs to finish the first race. He just needs to pick up a point in moto number 2 to be crowned world champion. The important thing was he finished ahead of Jeremy Seewer. Hunter Lawrence just over the line there in 10th. We'll give you the rundown in just a moment. But what a race. A Red Bull KTM finish, 1st and 2nd. Covington for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna was 3rd in the HSF Logistics KTM of Calvin Verlanderen. A fantastic ride for him in 4th. 5th for Suzuki World MX2's Jeremy Seewer, and Conrad Mewes unlucky not to be able to challenge for the win when he fell, whilst in 3rd and closing in on Jonas and Prado. Just waiting for 1 or 2 more riders to come over the line then before we grab a word with our race 1 winner, Paul Jonas, who needs just 1 point from race 2 to clinch the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship title. 30 minutes plus 2, though, is a long time. Here is the Red Bull KTM rider being chaperoned down to the winner's area. He will grab a quick word with Lisa Leyland. Let's hear what he has to say. Was he nervous? Was he relaxed? See what he has to say.
Paul Jonas, congratulations. What a difference 24 hours can make. You're really closing in on that title now.
Yeah, you know, over the night I had a
I think about everything, you know, and today the track is way different than it was yesterday. You know, this is more like sand track, not a mud race. So, you know, I got a whole shot from the outside, you know, so I was really happy about that. And, you know, it's easy when you are in front in the start. And then, you know, I had some nice battle with Jorge, you know, with my teammate. And really happy with him finishing second also. And, you know, looking forward for second moto.
Good luck for that. Thank you.
PJ 41. Will he be turning that double digit into a single digit come the end of the day? Will he be turning the red plate into gold later on this afternoon? So far, he looks cool, calm and collected. He looks in control, and the World Championship situation looks a million miles away from his mind. He took a start-to-finish win. He led every single one of the 20 laps. He picked up 25 points in the process as well. His nearest rival, Jeremy Seewer, could only manage 5th. He is almost home and dry. Official confirmation of MX2 Race 1. Pauls Jonas and Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM's first and second. The Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Thomas Covington third. HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM Valandren 4. Seewer 5 for Suzuki World MX2. Muse, Bogers and Olsen ran out the top 8 with Julian Lieber on the LRT KTM in 9th and Hunter Lawrence 10. Ben Watson 11th for Hitachi Contract Furniture Group KTM. Davey Pooch is 12, Alvin Osland 13, and the rest of the guys, as you see on screen, as we prepare for the highlights of MX2 Race 1. Starting to get a little bit cooler here at Assen. The sun disappearing for now, but it was certainly hot action out on track. The gate dropped for MX2 over on the right-hand side. A flying start for the number 41, and look how big that foxhole shot was for him. He still had work to do going into turn 2, which is where the line is. But it's him and his teammate, Jonas and Prado, who duked it out in the early stages of the race. Prado wasn't letting his teammate off the hook, though, either. Thomas Covington was in 3rd. Iago Hirtz was in 4th. He soon got pushed back to 5th as Conrad Muse charged down the inside of his teammate Covington to get himself into 3rd place. Prado had 1 or 2 steps down the inside of Jonas as he looked for 25 points and a race win, oblivious as to the championship task at hand by the Latvian. Eventually his move did come, and he did take over the lead, but later on in the race, Jonas fought back, regained the lead. In 4th position was Iago Hirtz. Seewer was in 5th, and Valandren was in 6th. Those two trading positions, and eventually Valandren did go around the outside to get himself into 4th in what was a fair exchange between the Suzuki and the KTM. That was for 5th place. Then Iago Hirtz had a huge crash off the side of the jump. He did pick himself up. He was okay, but while he did that, Muse went down the inside of his teammate Covington. That got him into 3rd place. And then he fell in the background as he was closing in on the leaders. That handed 3rd back to the American Thomas Covington. And as they came out of the final turn, it was Jonas and Prado who came over the line first for Red Bull KTM. Covington, Valandren and Seewer, your top 5. Muse came home in 6th. Foxhole shot time. Pauls Jonas by about a week in MX2 Race 1. So another black plate. Is it going to be the perfect day for the Latvian? Jarno Schläger, the Fox dealer from these parts, handing Jonas his Fox black plate. Fox black plate. He's now on 9, but Prado has already won it. Right, we'll take a look at some of the best moments from MX2 Race 1. We'll be back in just a few moments with MXGP Race 1. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Dus laat hem genieten hier in Assen. Maar dat is alles voor Glenn Koldenhof, die dadelijk op zal rijden. Ja, natuurlijk kan ik u ook mededelen dat even kijken, in Veldhoven gaat, Eindhoven moet zeggen, achter Eindhoven Airport. Daar gaat het plaatsvinden, de KTM-dag 2017. Daar kunt u kennis maken met de nieuwe modellen KTM-motoren. Zowel op de weg als in het zand. Je bent daar van harte welkom op 8 oktober. De KTM-dag Veldhoven, 7 en 8 oktober met wedstrijden, met altijd spektakel, met altijd sensatie. Alles is daar te beleven, niets is te doen op de KTM-dag in Eindhoven, achter Eindhoven Airport. En dat allemaal op 8 oktober aanstaande. Ja, de berichten vliegen hier binnen. Ja, natuurlijk, iedereen wil reclame hebben.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Assen TT circuit here in the north of the Netherlands. This is the 18th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of the Netherlands. Challenging conditions so far this weekend, over the course of Friday, Saturday, a lot of rain fell on this man-made circuit in the confines of this famous road race facility. The third year in a row since we've been here now for MXGP, but with blue skies and a nice cool breeze today. Conditions are improving lap by lap. It's getting drier and drier. Still sticking in one or two areas, but there's been some great racing out on track so far today. An overhead view of this circuit shows how small the racetrack is in significance to the racetrack on the outside, but we're right in the north of the country, the North Sea just across the way. And as you say, stiff breeze starting to blow here around this racetrack. Good crowd in here today, getting ready to cheer on their heroes around this 1,500-meter long racetrack. Team report coming up next, though, between the HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM squad. See what these guys have to say ahead of this weekend's race.
My name is Erik van Galen, and as from June this year, I am part of team management of HSF Logistics. We're happy that all three riders are on board again. With Brian, we have the strong one. He's really pushing, and especially in the weather today. With Kelvin, I think we have the smart rider. He's a fluent rider. And with Davey, we have the talent on board. So he's our young talent for the future.
I've been in the team since 4 years now, so it's quite a long, but yeah, I like them very much. They are very good to me, and I think they bring me where I'm now, so I'm very thankful to them.
I switched last year from Red Bull to HSF, and the switch actually went quite good. I'm really happy with the team. I feel more, I'm good friends with Brian, but also with Kelvin, and yeah, we train like 4 or 5 times in the week.
I thought I was ready for it coming into Qatar, but we found out in Qatar that I actually wasn't ready. The first overseas GPs didn't go how we would want it, It started to get better when we came back to Europe. I started to feel better on the bike.
With Calvin, it's actually very good because he's also already for a long time in the team. And with Dave, yeah, he's been a long time out because of the injury.
I had an injury the week after my podium in Latvia. That put me out quite a long time, 5 GPs I missed.
For this year we had a goal to be consistent in top 10, a few podiums, and if we look back now at the 18th GP, I think we reached that goal.
I want to get a full good winter preparation coming into the new year. I want to be consistently in the top 5.
My goals for this season were actually to stay on the bike, actually, because last year I had been out for 7 months in total. Actually at the third GP I got injured already, so yeah, it didn't work out. Now it's the same, just stay on the bike and make hours again on the bike.
My goal was to be in the top 5, like almost every race. It didn't happen. I'm a little bit disappointed about this year, but sometimes this happens. So I have at least 1 podium. I hope for more. 450, I think that will be the bike for me in the future, because on the 450 you have more power. So there the weight will be like less problem. I think the 450 will be a much better bike for me.
Right, there's the riders heading out on their sighting lap. That was a quick look behind the scenes at HSF Logistics, but a few moments ago, Lisa Leyland caught up with Glenn Koldenoff and
it's almost
Kendra
time
Dyker.
for MXGP Race 1, but before we get things underway, I wanted to speak to a rider that we've seen a lot of over the years, but maybe for not much longer. It's Kendra Dyker. Ken, I was speaking to you on Friday, and you said perhaps you at the GPs is going to be no more. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think almost 15 years now riding GPs every year after year, and the last 2 years I had quite big injuries, and now yeah, I just cannot get the speed up to those guys in the front. So it's just time to do something else. Life is not only motocross. I think for me it's going to start an whole other period of my life now. So I'm quite happy with all the years that I had, and for everybody who's behind me and helped me.
And I guess looking back, you've got some fond memories here in the sport.
Yeah, of course. I had memories I cannot achieve somewhere else, and yeah, I'm so happy with all how I did it. And so, it's been good for me.
Enjoy your last race. Okay, Kendra Dyker there. Next rider I want to speak to is Glenn Koldenoff, home rider here. Struggled a little bit yesterday. Had a problem at the start. It looked like his bike stopped, but he actually said that perhaps it was his fault. He was here, but as always, he's disappeared. So I'm going to come down here if I can find him. He is, he's all the way down here. Glenn, just a quick word. Let's talk about yesterday. Trouble at the start. How was the qualifying?
Yeah, you know, I had a small issue in the start. My bike stopped, but I think it was a mistake for myself, and for sure today it won't happen again. So no, actually the racing was good. You know, I came from that last. I came to 8, made a small mistake, and came back home in 9. So I think was fine. Today the track is a little bit better, and I'm feeling good. So I'm really looking forward.
Home round, you're strong in the sand. If you've got your friends and family here to support you, is it a busy weekend aside from racing?
Yeah, definitely. You know, there are a lot of fans here for me, especially my Hof support team. They are all here, so they couldn't come to some other races. They were on holiday and stuff. So for sure, now everybody will be here, and it's nice to ride in front of those guys.
And also, possibly later on, you could have some celebrations with your teammate.
Yeah, normally it's going to happen in this moto, I think. No, he had a great year, I think, and you only have to finish inside the top 16. So I think normally it won't be an issue. So I think we'll have some party tonight.
Can I come?
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll have a good race. Thanks for that, Glenn. Good luck to all the guys there. It's MXGP Race 1.
Helemaal opgenomen tot het grote crosscafé en we gaan gewoon voor de Ik heb dat eens. Heb ik een goede voor. Deze een lichaam als een kathedraal. Waar zijn we hier? In de kathedraal. Ja, de kathedraal. Dat klopt inderdaad. Nee, dat lichaam dat moet.
Coming into round 18, the penultimate round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of the Netherlands. Antonio Cairoli has a 96-point advantage over his teammate, Jeffrey Hurlings. Gauthier Paulin, 32 points further back with De Salle, one adrift in 4th, and then Geiser back in 5th place. That means that Tony Cairoli just needs a 16th place or 5 points from moto number 1 if Jeffrey Hurlings wins the moto, and that will be a 9th title sealed for the Sicilian. But 30 minutes plus 2 laps around this Assen circuit is a very long time indeed.
Okay.
Here's what happened in the MXGP qualifying race on Saturday. Charging down on what was a sticky racetrack after a lot of rain. Jeffrey Hurlings was up the inside as Tim Geiser grabbed a hole shot. Fevre wasn't too far behind either. He was in 3rd behind Gauthier Paulin. Also up there was Kevin Strybos on the 22. Hurlings around the outside went from 5th to 3rd as Ken de Dijker expired on the 24 MX Honda. Hurlings was doing a good job. He was up in 2nd behind Tim Geiser, ahead of the 21 of Paulin, Fevre and Van Hoorbeek, who went by his teammate on the 2nd lap to be the lead Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Strybos then launched an attack from around 6th place. Started to make moves on Romain Fevre. That would have to wait till later on in the race, though. Hurlings was looking good in 2nd as he went after Tim Geiser for HRC MXGP. Tony Cairoli was a little bit further back, but Hurlings made a mistake, then was passed by the 21 of Gauthier Paulin on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna and had it all to do again. So at that point of the race, Hurlings was in 3rd. Simpson, watch this, decided to eat tarmac for dinner. He crashed out of 11th position. He would not join the race. The Wilvo Yamaha rider did say he was okay, but then Hurlings put the squeeze on Gauthier Paulin, lent on the Frenchman. He bossed him into turn 1, and that was for 2nd on lap 5. Tony Cairoli came from the back just inside the top 10. He made that move on Strybos to get himself into 6th. And then he went after the Yamaha of Romain Fevre, the Monster Energy pilot, just going through the motions, didn't say he was riding good. Cairoli then fell. So he threw away that 6th place, picked himself at 11th, eventually came home in 10th. Were the nerves starting to show, or was it just a simple error? In the last few laps, Jeffrey Hurlings started to close in on Tim Geiser in the battle for the lead on what was a very, very difficult racetrack. This whole straight here, watch Geiser. He had a moment almost in this exiting the same place as last year, where his bike ended up launching into the catch fencing there. But Hurlings did go through around the outside and into the next turn. He just slowed the pace down nicely as he went past Geiser, and that was Hurlings through. Geiser then fell. He picked himself up in 2nd, just ahead of Gauthier Paulin and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, who was the lead Monster Energy Yamaha rider at that point, and the Suzuki World MXGP machine of Kevin Strybos up in 2nd, just ahead of Gauthier Paulin and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, exactly what they wanted. Monster Energy Yamaha rider at that point, and the Suzuki World MXGP machine here, Kevin Strybos up in 2nd. Just to the rafters today, folks.
Duitsel moet ik zeggen, ja, heel klein plaatsje in de omgeving. Ik ga dit blauw, hè. Ik kijk naar Duitsel, plaats 1.
as the riders take their positions down on the gate. Jeffrey Hurlings will line up on pole for the 5th time this year on his Red Bull KTM ahead of the HRC MXGP machine of Energy Husqvarna of Gauthier Paulin, Monster Energy Yamaha's Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and Suzuki World MX2 Suzuki rider Kevin Strybos. 5 different manufacturers in the top 5 placings. That's healthy. Fevra was 6, Bobryshev 7, Nagel, Koldenoff and Cairoli, your top 10. Koldenoff stalling on the line as the gate dropped. I was talking to Max Anstey, who qualified in 11th place after the qualifying race yesterday, and he said the gate here is different. Normally when the gate falls back, it's an absolute flat line across the gate and onto the dirt, but there's a slight rise. He said, don't be surprised if you see riders wheeling more coming out of the gate this weekend. It was the same at just forces the front wheel up. But Tony Cairoli on course and on the verge of lifting what could be a 9th FIM World Motocross Championship title. This guy here, Jeffrey Hurlings, his teammate, is definitely not going to make it easy for him as he goes in search of another home win. Of course, he's won numerous occasions at Valkenswaard and at Lierop. He wasn't a winner in sand this year, though, at the round of Europe. Gauthier Paulin, another home win. Jeffrey Hurlings had to set the second that day. And the Bullet didn't even take a race win on that occasion, where he was still trying to find his feet in MXGP. 2/3 that occasion. Good to see Tommy Searle here on the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. Of course, he's going to be preparing for the upcoming
15 segundos para la salida.
End of September at Madley Basin. The 15-second board is up though. We're almost ready to go racing.
Y ahí van.
Round 18 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of the Netherlands here in Assen is about to get underway. 30 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Tony Cairoli possibly on the verge of making his own little piece of history as he sneaks through turn 1. He's already won the Foxhole Shot contest, and it's Geiser who spins out, almost takes out Fevra. As riders do disappear at the back of the field as they go through that first turn or two. But it's Cairoli who leads. Geiser is second, Bobryshev is 4th. Where is Hurlings? He's in about 6th place as he goes through turn 2. And listen to the crowd, they are on their feet. Hurlings knows he doesn't need to rush here, but Cairoli doing what he did in race 2 in the US a week ago, getting a start, hoping to run with it. There was Paulin. Over the line we go though. Cairoli leads. Geiser is second.
Así de pegados. ¡Más pegados! ¿Nos oyes ya?
Who's now 4th. Van Hoorbeek is 5th. Strybos 6th. Anstey 7th. Hurlings in 8th, looking to go around the outside of Strybos and up the inside of Anstey. They're 3 abreast as they head back towards us here. Hurlings looking like he's making good time there. 2 passes down the straight for the Bullet. There's Cairoli, there's Geiser, the 2 Yamahas of Fevra and Van Hoorbeek, then Bobryshev, then Hurlings is there. He has passed Strybos and Anstey. Then we have, I think it was to Sal in 9th, and Nick Kauenberg on the Asamoto Honda for Red Moto, and the homeboy looking to impress here. Bobryshev just getting caught and passed by the 2 Yamahas. Geiser here on this opening lap. There's Fevra 3rd, Van Hoorbeek 4th, Hurlings now 5th, Bobryshev struggling in 6th to find a rhythm. Strybos goes up the inside, is quickly going to be followed by Paulin and Clement de Sal as they head down past pit lane for the first time in this first MXGP race, and Bobryshev squeezing the Suzuki rider Strybos to the inside. Be interesting to see what the gap is as they hit the Monster Energy finish line for the first time. Great crowd here this weekend. Grandstands full this side, all the VIP sections and all the boxes filled on that side. Another successful Grand Prix here. The MXGP of the Netherlands already. There is Jeffrey Hurlings starting to carve his way through. As we said, doesn't need to rush. He's found his way past Bobryshev. He's going after Jeremy Van Hoorbeek as he hits the finish line. It's Cairoli, Geiser, Fevra, Van Hoorbeek. Hurlings in 5th. Bobryshev in 6th position. Fastest man on track though, and the fastest lap of the race so far at 1:38.4. MX2's fastest lap was on the opening lap. That was Paul Jonas at 1:38.1. In Moto number 1, don't want to give away the results there though, but that's just a lap time comparison as Hurlings dives around the outside of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and making the sand conditions look very, very easy. Of course, Jeffrey Hurlings will probably say that this place is flat. Could do with being a little bit rougher. As he just washes the front end there in that left. Picks himself up. Didn't even blink. Watch him lift the front wheel. He's nice through there. Surprised Jeremy Van Horbeke was hitting that both wheels on the ground. That's the kind of difference that Jeffrey Hurlings makes when he rides in the sand. There's Geiser going through in second. Roman Febvre in third on that blue Monster in his Yamaha. And Hurlings here now in fourth. And Van Horbeke in fifth. Cairoli was 4.2 seconds clear of Geiser. 8.6 seconds ahead of Jeffrey.
Training!
Still looking menacing is Tony Cairoli as the back end just kicks aside as he hits that little single. See those edges starting to appear. Hurlings takes a sly look across there, sees his teammate coming through in the opposite direction, just about doubling his way through the last two doubles there. Cairoli a 40.4, so that 38.4.
José Antonio Cairoli.
2 seconds quicker. That's the kind of
Su vuelta rápida es 2 segundos más rápida que las del resto.
Geiser 4.5 seconds down. Febvre 6.7. Jeffrey Hurlings 8.5. So he's gained about a tenth on his teammate Tony Cairoli.
Pero cuidado que viene Jeffrey a la subida.
Very, very soon indeed.
Viene Jeffrey. Muy rápido. Más rápido que Febvre y más va a adelantar, ya verás.
Pero sobre todo más rápido que Thomas.
Sí, porque Estados Unidos es muy lento. Hoy Febvre. ¿Qué coño le pasa a Hurlings? No se puede ir tan rápido.
No, se nos oye bien. Hay que conseguir que haga botón más arriba.
¡Ah! Jumping over the hole there, you see, landing at the base. And everybody else just keeping it nice and short.
Oye, esto que estoy haciendo es experiencia laboral, ¿eh? Yo podría trabajar como comentarista dentro de mucho, cuando el motocross sea un deporte importante en España. ¿No?
Martín, creo que no te pueden responder.
¿Cómo que no?
Así que deja de hacer preguntas, por favor. Martín, creo que no te pueden responder.
Se oye bien, ¿no?
Hi, my name's Jeff.
Senior teammate Tony Cairoli, who is just at the end of this straight now. The next rider in his line of sight is Tim Geiser. And with 24 minutes plus 2 laps to go, it's Cairoli, Geiser, Hurlings, Febvre, Van Horbeke, your top 5. Jeffrey Hurlings gets his head down. Didn't make the best start in MXGP. Race 1 is home Grand Prix here, the MXGP of the Netherlands. It's round 18 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. Making 1 or 2 little mistakes as he goes in pursuit of Tim Geiser for HRC MXGP. The MXGP, well, double world champion for the last 2 years, MX2 and MXGP. And Geiser starting to home in on Tony Cairoli himself. So all of a sudden, it was 5.7 seconds between Cairoli and Hurlings at the start of this 4th lap, and only 2.4 seconds between Cairoli and Geiser. And it looks like Geiser might just be closing in. Whoa, knack your way through the turn there, Tony. Doesn't want to be doing that too often. Oh, there is that Red Bull KTM. Has 2 steps and stabs the cherry through that right hand of the final turn, and then can't get the double through the early part of the waves there. That's going to cost him time of 41.5. Not a bad lap, but 2.5 seconds between him and Geiser, who is a tenth slower. Jeffrey Hurlings is going to get that gap down to 4.9, so 140.7, only marginally quicker. Tony Cairoli is in charge and in control of his own destiny here. Can he win the world title with a race win? He only needs to finish 16th, remember, if Jeffrey Hurlings was to win this first motor. Looking further down the order, in terms of the championship race for third. Paulin is in 8th place in the moto, and Clément de Sal, the number 25. If we lost de Sal, yeah, he's down. He's out of points at the moment. He has dropped down the order. I'm hoping that's a timing glitch, but I don't think it is. So Clément de Sal has fallen, and that is going to hand big points to Gauthier Paulin in their battle for third. So Jeffrey Hurlings. Jeffrey Hurlings just continues to push on here. He was put to the task in moto number 1 last year, of course, as an MX2 rider when conditions were pretty heavy. He did win the GP though that day as an MX2 rider, but not before he was pushed and harassed and harried by his younger teammate Mario Prado, and then Thomas Thompson with the race win in moto number 2. The gap between the top 3, 5.4. Cairoli responding, but not enough. Jeffrey Hurlings just struggling to close down. Oh, I tell you what, Geiser very, very close, perilously close to the edge of that jump there. He was almost off the side of the track, and he gets very soft over on that part of the racetrack. Being told that Clément de Sal fell either on the finish line jump off the side of the track or the next jump off the Ippon jump. So we've seen 2 or 3 riders go off the side there today. He is back up and running though, is he? No, he's down in 29th place, so not looking good for de Sal. Jeffrey Hurlings though, closing in on Tim Geiser. This is the battle for 2nd place. Cairoli can't do any more than he's doing, and he's re-established himself at the head of the field. That is not a 3.4 second gap anymore between him and Tim Geiser. Cairoli with 8 titles, Geiser with 2, Jeffrey Hurlings with 3 titles, 13 World Championships there, and Guy in 4th place, Romain Febvre also has one, so 14 titles in the first 4 positions in this MXGP Race 1 here at Assen in the Netherlands. Red Bull KTM's Antonio Cairoli hits the Monster Energy finish line here. He has a gap now of 4.7 seconds over Tim Geiser on the HRC Honda. Jeffrey Hurlings losing toe and contact with Cairoli though. He's in 3rd. He's being roared on by the crowd here, but Cairoli is getting away as Hurlings wheelies onto the first of those holes, onto the 2nd. He's gone past Geiser. Listen to the crowd roar. He goes into 2nd. Watch Hurlings now. He has clear track. A 1:39.8. He was still 4/10 slower than Cairoli that time around. But it'd be interesting to see what he can do now, though, that he does have that clear track, that he can ride his own lines. Whoop, doubles in, hits the brakes. He knew he was going to overjump. Constantly got one finger on the clutch, Jeffrey Hurlings. Right, so different to everybody else in the sand, just ready to use it to hop over things. Does he wheelie on the face here? No, but he continues to jump a little bit further than everybody else the other side of that Tag Heuer jump. Right, he will look up and you'll see Cairoli just ahead of him, heading down towards turn 3. He's definitely making it difficult for Jeffrey Hurlings. That gap is definitely coming down at the same time though. Cairoli out of the final turn. Can he get the double? Watch Jeffrey Hurlings here. Single, 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 then double maybe. Yes. So a lot cleaner, a lot more efficient through there than Cairoli's been the last couple of occasions, and it's a 1:39.331, his fastest lap of the race, but not the fastest. That was 1.3 seconds quicker than Tony Cairoli. Cairoli now 4.5 seconds clear of his teammate Hurlings, coming towards us now. Geiser in the background in 3rd. Febvre and Van Horbrit for Monster Energy Yamaha, 4th and 5th. 16 and 17 seconds off the lead, which is Cairoli. Max Anstey, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, the lead Husqvarna rider, is in 6th. Kevin Strybos 7th for Suzuki World MXGP. 8th, Gauthier Paulin. Koldenoff 9, Bobashev 10. The Ottaviano Husqvarna of Tano Leok is 11. And then Philip Bengtson, Sean Simpson for Wilbo Yamaha MXGP. Tommy Searle, Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. Up to 15th is Harry Kulas, Rui Gonçalves, De Dijker down to 17, Lupino 18, Sven van der Meerden and Max Nagel rounding out the top 20. But Kai Rowley can see, Jeffrey Hurlings can see Kai Rowley getting ever so closer, even as they head down past pit lane. It was 4.5 seconds. Hurlings is closing all the time though. Fastest first sector of the race, a 23.1, a full second quicker than Kai Rowley on this lap. Sector 2, 19.8, so another half a second pull back there. Kai Rowley 2/10 quicker on sector 3. And for Jeffrey Hurlings and Tony Kai Rowley, it'll all be in the lap time at the end of this straight. Listen to the fans. Football type crowd. He was a little bit shaky through there. 40.1 Kai Rowley, 39.7 again, another 4/10 quicker. It's coming down ever so slightly, but there is still 15 minutes plus 2 laps to go in MXGP race 1. Geiser off the side of the track, and he's got to run along the narrowest of margins there. He overshot the berm at the top of the straight there, and that is going to cost him dearly, and Roman Fevre might be right back in contention as Geiser rejoins the track at the end of the straight, if he can rejoin the track at the end of the straight. There he is there, just at the top of the hill. Watch this, yeah, there's Geiser. He went straight over the berm, had to run it along here. There's all kinds of obstacles there, TV cables and little fence blocks and all kinds of stuff. Back markers starting to come into play. Jeffrey Hurlings starting to catch them. Look like that might be the number 32 of Milko Podosek. If it is, he's in 27th position. And Hurlings just getting held up ever so slightly through there, through turn 1. Fans on their feet, cheering every inch of this racetrack for Jeffrey Hurlings. It is a physical circuit. It's demanding, it's tough, it's deep, it's treacherous, it's rutty. It's dry in places, firm in others, deep and boggy in some of the corners. Double, double, hits the finish line jump now. The gap is 2.4 seconds. The crowd sense Jeffrey Hurlings may be on his way to 25 points. There is Kai Rowley. That's the difference between the two teammates at KTM. Kai Rowley and Hurlings split by a back marker as they head down this straight out of turn 5. Geiser lost about 12 seconds that lap, trying to get himself back onto the circuit, but he is still 8 seconds clear of Romain Fevre. Oh, nicely done there. Jeffrey Hurlings goes to the inside. Kai Rowley, you know what, you've got to give this athlete a lot of credit. Written off 2 years ago, written off last year, he's come back fighting this year. Even last week when he thought he could clinch the title in the second moto in the USA, he pulled a hole shot, he disappeared. He made it very difficult for Jeffrey Hurlings to close in. He was a little bit too deep there though, and that one mistake that he made was just unfortunate for him, and it was a rare mistake, but he's done the same thing here. But Hurlings looking to sneak up the inside, and Kai Rowley runs him wide and looks at him again as if to say, right, you know what, that's going to be the last challenge. You take it, you take the race win. Still Jeffrey Hurlings' race to lose though. Kai Rowley might be able to relax a little bit more now that he's got Hurlings just ahead of him. He'll certainly want to push him, that's for sure. Game on, whichever way you look at it, folks. Hurlings, your new race leader, a little untidy coming out of the final turn. And Kai Rowley strikes back. Kai Rowley, wow, the 32-year-old, almost 32-year-old, launches his attack right back past Jeffrey Hurlings. He holds a tight inside line. Hurlings looks across, thinking, right, what's he going to do? Is he going to stop in the turn? Kai Rowley just keeps those wheels going. He's off the side of the track, and Hurlings will respond here at the inside. Cairoli knows that. The fans on their feet, and atmosphere out here is just electric. Can he keep Hurlings honest? Van Horbeke down to 6th place while this is happening because Max Anstey has gone through into 5th on his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, but that looks like Hurlings with 12 minutes to go. That might be the nail in the coffin, and that might be him just disappearing up the head of the field, and he might just leave Cairoli there in 2nd to claim his hands or lay claim to that 9th world title. It's eluded him for 2 years due to injuries and one thing or another, but he may just get the job done today, and it might just happen in race 1. There's still 11.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, though. And it's now Hurlings who leads, Cairoli 2nd, Geiser, Febvre and Anstey now your top 5. Jeffrey Hurlings heads down the home straight through the waves. Fans roaring their approval again as he hits the line for the 11th time here. He has a gap over Tony Cairoli of just 1.5 seconds. Cairoli is not going to throw in the towel just yet. He will still be there applying the pressure from behind, hoping that Jeffrey Hurlings makes a rare mistake in the sand. Cairoli would love to win this one with a race win, wouldn't he? And win the title with a race win. There's the 49 of Jörny Eert on the Maurer-Gep Husqvarna. Geiser, Team HRC, MXGP, back there in 3rd, still 12 seconds behind these two. There's Hurlings just wheeling nicely onto that single. Ooh, nervous look over the shoulder there from Jeffrey Hurlings. Probably feeling like he's putting everything into it, and Cairoli is still there and thinking, okay, might have to just up the pace a little bit more, trying to break the 8-time champ, soon to be 9-time champ. Van Horbeke out. Not a happy rider. Looks like he's in a little bit of discomfort, but Hurlings still not able to break free from Cairoli. Lap time of 40.1 and a 41.9 last time around. We're about to hit the line again now. Back marker just doing his best to stay out of the way there. Hurlings may have just increased that gap from 1.5 seconds to 2.2, so 3/4 of a second in it that time around in Hurlings' favour. We almost lost the front there. Wheelies onto the face of the jump. Cairoli does the same. Back markers at the end of the straight here. Sure, the other riders out on track as they're getting lapped by Hurlings, and Cairoli will be able to hear. And Geiser off. Geiser off at the finish line. That is just before the finish line. Cross-rutted in the waves. Oh, over the bars. Oh, that is a big crash. Geiser is very lucky there. I won't be surprised if he squashed a couple of ribs in that. Oh, trying to get that thing fired up. So Febvre now 3rd. Geiser just going down the leaderboard like a stone. Hurlings. Cairoli gesticulating at the back marker there, held him up. Has he got enough in the tank just to launch one last attack, or has he had that toe broken by that back marker? Here's Romain Febvre, Monster Energy Yamaha. He is in 3rd place, but look who is just behind him. And it's Max Anstey. He's now got himself up into 4th place, finding a way past Strybos. Here he is about to hit the Monster Energy jump in the background. That's Ryan Houghton on the iFly JK Racing Yamaha. He's just outside of the points at the moment. But on the Tag Heuer jump should be Max Anstey there in the background. Number 99 coming towards us. Let's give Ryan Houghton a bit of airtime. There he is, coming in just behind Journey it. Those two fighting it out just outside of the points. There's Kino, big Kendidika. The number 9, just inside the points in 19th place for 24 MX, as he's about to get lapped here by Jeffrey Hurlings. '47, Brian Boulard off the side of the track there. Slight mistake for him. Cairoli goes around the outside. You know what? Cairoli has not thrown in the towel yet. He was gesticulating at the back marker down past pit lane a lap ago, and it looked like he may have just, you know what, said, okay, that's my opportunity gone. And is that Geiser cruising? I think that's Geiser cruising at the side of the track there. Coming back into pit lane, that was a big hard hit for the Slovenian, and soon to be dethroned world champ from last year. I want to see that crash again, actually, because that was a hard hit from Geiser, and I'm not surprised he is moving very, very awkwardly. Watch this here from Tim Geiser. He caught, he was short there, look, and dug in, front folded, the back wheel all across the back of the Slovenian there. Anxious faces on the looks of Team Honda. Right, Jeffrey Hurlings, 14 laps done. He's only 2.3 seconds clear of Tony Cairoli. He has not been afforded the chance to relax here. The home fans making it a memorable occasion for Jeffrey Hurlings every time he comes through, but Cairoli with 5.5 to go might just have one last throw of the dice here. Damon Growless on the 24 MX Honda does his best to stay out of the way. He has been waved for the blue flag 3 corners ago, taken a very long time to get out of the way. That might have been another gap pulled by Jeffrey Hurlings. Here he is here, wheelies nicely onto the face through those ruts. Cairoli hits them both wheels and then it's just a little bit slower. Gets held up in the turn. He has had a fantastic season, Antonio Cairoli. No doubt about it. Like an old wine, gets better with age. Hurlings just ahead of him, dealing with back marker traffic as best he can as he heads down towards turn 3. Cairoli, just sense now, might start to just back things off a little bit. He's got about 37 seconds gap over Romain Febvre. We've seen how tricky that wave section is through there, catching out Tim Geiser a moment ago, forcing the outgoing champ out of the race. 4.2 seconds the gap between Hurlings and Cairoli now. Febvre is third, he's over the line any moment now. We wait for him to come through. Still waiting for Romain Febvre. No, Brian Boulard. There he is. Almost right on cue. So Febvre over the Monster Energy finish line now. 41 seconds down on Cairoli, 43 down on Hurlings. He'll be pleased that it's another podium race finish at the very least. He knows that he can still fight for a podium here this weekend as well. That's the gap between first and second. 4.2 at the start of lap 16. Hurlings not able to completely get rid of his teammate, who continues to push on. I think he's still pushing here, Cairoli. Lap time last time around was a 43.6 compared to the 41.7 of Hurlings. See if he's got it back down to less than a 43. That'll tell us this time around, won't it? So 3.3 seconds, yeah, quicker than Hurlings. 42.4, 41.5. Not done yet. just like the whole of his 2017 season. Tony Cairoli, with just under 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go. MXGP Race 1, the 18th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship here at the MXGP of the Netherlands at Assen, the infamous Assen TT circuit in the north of the country. A tough, challenging racetrack for the youth of today. This kid here, no spring chicken anymore, but you wouldn't know that from the way that he's riding and has been riding throughout 2017. Will be 32 years old soon, later this month. And he's still dogging the guy just ahead of him, Jeffrey Hurlings, and that gap is coming down. It's not 3.3 seconds anymore. This is going to be a 3-lap race, a 3-lap dash for cash. Tony Cairoli wants to go out winning this title in style, and he wants to do it by taking a race win, 25 points, and humiliate his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings in the process with a win on home soil. The gap was 3.3 last time around. The fans are on their feet. They know they're in for a grandstand finish here, no matter what happens. The gap is just now 2.7, a 42.1 and a 41.4, respectively, for Hurlings and Cairoli. Behind them, in fourth place, Max Anstey, lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker than Romain Febvre. He's only 8.9 seconds down on the Frenchman at the start of the previous lap. We're still waiting for them to come through, so we might even see Anstey take third in the dying stages of this race from the Yamaha. Right, so, but Romain Febvre is out. Romain Febvre has stopped, and has he stalled the bike? He starts the bike, and that might be Anstey closing in, so Febvre, his own drama. He's about to cross the line. Is he still third? I think he is, just. Lost a couple of seconds, no doubt. But where's Hurlings, where's Cairoli? Here they are. The 2-lap board will go out this time around. Hurlings cannot afford to relax. Tony Cairoli doesn't need to challenge Jeffrey Hurlings at all, but he is doing. And Hurlings is making 1 or 2 little mistakes here in the closing stages of this first race. Fans on their feet. The noise here is electric. Febvre is still third by about 2 seconds over Max Anstey, so Anstey could in fact take away third on the final lap from the Frenchman Romain Febvre on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Still work to do though. The 2-lap board goes out. Hurlings a 1:42.4 and Tony Cairoli a 41.7. That gap is, I'll tell you what, the back marker there almost wiped out Cairoli. Is there just too much to do here for Cairoli in the closing stage of the race? Here's Hurlings just out of the screen. Here's Cairoli, those two 1.9 seconds apart. Watch this back marker here. Cairoli swept in from the outside. The back marker had no idea that that was what was going to happen. Very, very brave move there from the champ. Hurlings, sublime. But what can you say about Cairoli? He is eating away at that lead. Jeffrey Hurlings knows it as well. He has to up his game if he is to stay there. Here's Cairoli, 32 years young. Down past pit lane for the penultimate time. Hurlings and Cairoli separated by not 1.9 seconds anymore. More traffic ahead. That looks like the number 12 of Max Nagel. Is that right? Max Nagel? So Max Nagel is about to get lapped here. Sean Simpson just ahead of them. So they're lapping up to 11th and 10th. So Simpson, a former Grand Prix winner and race winner around here, is about to get lapped by both Jeffrey Hurlings and Tony Cairoli. They're about to enter the final lap. The fans are on their feet. They don't know who's going to win here. We know that if Cairoli finishes the race, he is going to be world champion, but he has to finish 16th or better to do that. He is taking the fight to Jeffrey Hurlings, who has not been used to being put under this kind of scrutiny in MX2 or in MXGP. Struggling for Teros. Hurlings goes past Simpson. He needs to look over his shoulder and be mindful of what's going on around him. Cairoli looks up. He sees Hurlings split him between a back marker and himself, and that's Tanel Leop, number 7, in 9th place. Oh, and Hurlings, his attempt, I think, is done and dusted. Cairoli, sorry, his attempt done and dusted because Hurlings may be just too far ahead. Nervous moments here for Hurlings as he tries to hang on. Hasn't looked back since that corner about halfway through the race ago. Cairoli will continue to push. A real champion's performance. He has gone down in this one, fighting. He tried, and he's still trying. He still believes there's a chance to win this race. There are just 3-4 corners to go. Hurlings is being caught here by Cairoli. Is it going to be on the line? And a back marker, no. I was just looking ahead and I thought the back markers were going to play a part. Cairoli has thrown everything into this one. He maybe left his challenge too late. He maybe got held up by a back marker. If he gets good drive through here, can he make the pass? Hurlings will win race 1 here at Assen in front of his home fans, but Cairoli is world champion for a 9th time. He ghost rides the bike. That is 3 years of frustration for Tony Cairoli. He finally gets the job done. Fireworks going off. Tony Cairoli gets drowned in champagne. Claudio Di Carli, one of the first to be there as well. And it is pandemonium down here at Assen. Tony Cairoli, he tried to win it with a 10th moto win of the year, but was just denied by his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings, who takes his 10th race victory of the year. But what a moment for Antonio Cairoli. Crowned world champion for the 9th time. Hoisted up in front of the fans. That is I wonder if that is the most important world title for him after being written off the last 2 years. Fireworks going off all over the place. Cowbells, all kinds, everyone trying to get their picks there. We will grab a word with somebody during this race. Not sure if it will be Jeffrey Hurlings, a race winner, or the new world champion. Jill Cox in amongst the pandemonium down there. And Valentino Ragni, the coordinator, and everybody else trying to just get in there as well and congratulate the new champ, Antonio Cairoli. There he is, folks, your 2017 FIM Motocross World Champion. In MXGP, Red Bull KTM's Tony Cairoli for a 9th time. And here's Lisa Leyland.
Tony Cairoli, congratulations. You had to wait a while for this, but finally.
Madre mía, va la carrera, tío. It's so amazing that este abuelo puede ganar una carrera y un campeonato.
It was very nice battle with my teammate, and I'm really happy about the result. And let's have fun also in the second model.
Ah, mira, me ha saludado este Manolo. No sé quién es, pero me voy a tener que ir con él a las putas naciones. ¡Qué Manolo!
Tony Cairoli, a 9-time FIM Motocross.
En realidad esto feo este tío, no sabe ni por qué se ha casado con la tía esa.
He followed that up in 2007. They were MX2 titles, and he went on a rampage then. 2009, right the way through to 2014. He missed out in 15 and 16, but so far this year, 9 race wins, 6 Grand Prix victories, 2nd on 3 occasions and 3rd on 2 occasions. Tony Cairoli is your world champion 2017. wonder if he will. I wonder if he will live out the quote that Adam Wheeler from On Track Off Road got from him in the press conference yesterday when he said, you know, if you win it in the first race, will we see a different rider in the second race? He said, well, you might see a drunken Tony Cairoli in the second race. And the last time he did a burnout like that, and when he won his 8th title, he blew the brains out in Matchley Basin, if you recall. Or sorry, his 7th title, whatever it was. But he couldn't finish the race. But anyway, here's the official confirmation, MXGP of the Netherlands, MXGP Race 1 here at Assen. Jeffrey Hurlings, Tony Cairoli, Red Bull KTM's first and second. Max Anstey did get to third on the final lap for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna ahead of Roman Febvre, Kevin Strybos, Glenn Koldenoff, Kenny Bobashev and Gautier Paul and Tony Cairoli. That plate now gold. Of course, he cannot be caught. Wonder if we'll see some real racing then in the next few races. Joe King, of course. Tano Leop, 9. Nagel, 10. Simpson, 11. Benson, 12. Harry Kulas, Tommy Searle, Ruben Salvez. Alex Lupino, he was the rider that congratulated Tony Cairoli just at the end there in the interview. Damon Growlers, Sven van der Meerden, Jeremy Delint, and the rider in 20th position then was Journey Eert for Maragap Husqvarna. Cairoli, it's official, is the 2017 MXGP World Champion. Jeffrey Hurlings, second. Paulan going for third now with the Sal. The Sal did not score in moto number 1. He went off track over the Ippon jump down the side on the landing, and just waiting to get confirmation as to whether he will even start the second race or not. So we'll bring you that hopefully after the break. Right, let's take a look at the highlights from MXGP Race 1. The gate dropped and it was Tony Cairoli. He'd already won the Fox Hole Shot contest for 2017. He took the lead early on. A couple of riders went down at the back of the field. But it was Cairoli who led from Tim Geiser, Roman Febvre, Kenny Bobashev and Jeremy Van Horbich. Drybos was in there as well. So too Hurlings.
Atención que queréis ver la hostia de Geiser.
Was on Van Horbig, this one on Febvre. That got him into third. He went after Geiser. Cairoli continued to lead though at the head of the field, opening up a gap. He was like the rabbit out of the proverbial hat. Get his head down and just put the distance between himself and his rivals. That was De Sal. After his crash over the jumps, barriers there.
Ahí tengo una pit bike.
Jeffrey Hurlings then went past Tim Geiser, second, and then started fast lap times. He went after his teammate. Had more than one occasion. Cairoli tried to take him wide here.
Bam, mi gilipolle.
Hurlings went through, and we thought that would be it. Game over. How wrong we were. He came right back at it 2 corners later and took over the lead again, right in front of Hurlings fans in the main grandstand.
Bye.
The gloves were off. Cairoli
Look
wasn't
at
going
this.
down without a fight.
I'm gonna play it fucking.
He wanted to win his 9th title with 25 points. Hurlings was making it equally difficult. He was being stubborn as well.
Mira ahora,
Cairoli was offline at the end of the straight. Hurlings went back through and took over the lead again, and the nerves looked on the faces from Cairoli's crew said it all.
Mira,
Geiser out of third. The big crash. The rear wheel of that
Squidlin, yeah!
He did not finish the race.
Yeah, boy, I'm selling all my fucking Neo.
He was in third. The Monster Energy Yamaha of Roman Febvre stalled. He had 8 seconds on Anstey.
Look at this.
Anstey did come through to take third, but it was Hurlings who took the race win. Cairoli came home second.
And I do the Ghost Rider.
2017 MXGP World Title. Cairoli with a Fox Hole shot. Look at the carnage behind him as Geiser got out of shape and almost cleaned up Roman Febvre.
Mamma mia, my mom.
Tony Cairoli already winning this contest. He has 15 now. Just like the MXGP World Title race. Uncatchable, Tony. Let's take a look at some of the best moments then from a very exciting MXGP Race 1.